Assalamu alaikum dear doctors. In this video I am discussing about depth of burn, and these topics I have taken from clinical cases for MRCPCH Theory and Science book, case number 11. So burn depth is anatomically defined by how much of the skin surface is destroyed. Burns are rarely of uniform depth throughout. Indeed, a burn that was uniform in shape and depth would raise concerns of being caused by non-accidental injury. So this is an important information that if the burn is uniform and shape of the depth is uniform, then it is raised concern about non-accidental injury. Now superficial burn. Superficial burn confined to outer epidermal layer, example sunburn. Then partial thickness burn involve epidermis and part of the inner dermis. These are further divided into superficial partial thickness and deep partial thickness. Superficial partial thickness, there is destruction of the entire epidermis and no more than the outer third of the dermis. The microvessels perfusing this area are injured, leading to leakage of large amounts of plasma. This lifts off the heat destroyed epidermis and causes a blister to form. These are the most painful burns as the nerve endings are exposed to air. They look pink and wet. So they are telling that partial thickness burn, that is two types: superficial partial thickness and deep partial thickness. Superficial partial thickness, destruction of the entire epidermis, no more than the upper third of the dermis. And they are also telling that in superficial partial thickness, most painful burn, as the nerve ending are exposed to air, they look pink and wet. Now deep partial thickness burn. Deep partial thickness burn involves destruction of the most of the dermal layer with few variable epidermal cells remaining. Blisters do not tend to form as the dead tissue layer is thick and adheres to the underlying viable dermis. They are white and dry but do have sensation, though pain is reduced, so many nerve endings have been destroyed. So in case of deep partial thickness burn, there is involved destruction of the most of the dermal layer and few variable epidermal cells remaining. Blister not occur in deep partial burn. Blister is formed on superficial partial thickness burn. In deep partial thickness burn, pain is reduced as many nerve endings have been destroyed, and its color of deep partial thickness is white and dry, where superficial partial thickness is pink and wet. Now full thickness burn. Full thickness burn involves destruction of both dermis and epidermis, leaving no residual epidermal cells to repopulate. They are painless. So in case of full thickness burn, what happened? Involves destruction of both dermis and epidermis, and there is a marking circle, no residual epidermal cells to repopulate. They are painless. Now subdermal burn. Subdermal burn involves destruction of both layers and extends into the tissues below the, including fat, tendon, muscle and bone. So again repeating subdermal burn. Subdermal burn involves destruction of both layers and extends into the tissues below, including fat, tendons, muscle and bone. So we find that burn are superficial burn, B partial thickness burn, C full thickness burn and subdermal burn. 4 types total burn, where partial thickness of burn divided to, that is superficial partial thickness and deep partial thickness burn. This is all about burn depth. Now thermal injury. Thermal injury to tissue is described in 3 zones. These are: of superficial injury is the zone of hyperemia and is warm and red. The middle area is the zone of stasis, where the microcirculation is damaged and changes in capillary permeability allow fluids to leak from the vascular system into the interstitial space. The deepest area is the zone of coagulation, where heat damaged cells occlude blood vessels. This obstruction in the microcirculation prevents the humoral component of the immunoresponse from reaching the burn tissue. Transference of heat by a liquid results in a greater zone of stasis. This zone will evolve over the first 72 hours, resulting in a more significant injury than on first assessment. This potential for continuing burn has to be taken into consideration when managing scald injuries. So from this passage we learned that in thermal injury described in 3 zones, there are 3 zones in thermal injury. First, superficial injury, that is called zone of hyperemia. then middle area zone of stasis, and the third deepest area, that is zone of coagulation. So hyperemia, stasis, then coagulations. And the last line that taken to be consideration when managing scar injuries, that is a continuing burn. Now severe burns. Severe burns are reported in an estimated 10 to 20% of children who suffered from physical abuse. And burns and scars are amongst the commonest cause of fatal child abuse. In addition, a far greater number of accidental burns occur as a consequence of poor parenting decisions or neglect. Child protection literature has been around since the first published descriptive articles on neglect and abuse in 1860. The definition of the battered child did not occur until the 1960. Although interpretation of the evidence base concerning burn injury and child protection is difficult, that is not because there are few published data. There are more than 16,000 citations of child abuse in PubMed. However, using this data to draw conclusions about an individual case requires experience and care. There are increasingly useful good systematic reviews being published by the Cardiff Child Protection Systematic Reviews. These include information on the feature that define accidental versus non-accidental scars and proposing a trigger tool to distinguish between them. So in this important is thermal injury, 3 zones, this one, and the severe burn reported estimated 10 to 20% due to physical abuse. Remember, severe burn occur due to physical abuse, that is poor parenting decisions and neglect. Another important line is that the definition of the battered child did not occur until the 1960. So please do subscribe and share Dr. Amma's Medicine YouTube channel. Thank you.